Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So little by little, piece by piece, I've been slowly putting things back into the Supra. It's safe to say that I've completed a lot of the bigger parts of the build, like all of the undercarriage, which is really great. So I'm looking forward to like the next couple segments because it is smaller things, but it's items that should never be overlooked. For example, today's focus is going to be on the supplemental restraint system of my build, which I like to call the safety features. So this does consist of 6 different components all throughout the inside and the front end of the Supra, 2 of which we have these airbags that go underneath the fender. We have the passenger side airbag, the airbag for the driver's side that goes inside that steering wheel, and then we do have the center airbag sensor assembly, which is like the ECU or the computer for the entire SRS system. Also, there is a light indication, which would be located on the telltale light for the right hand side of this cluster panel here. So if it's on, I believe that the system's working, or if it's on, then that means that there is a malfunction in the system. I forgot either or, one of those applies. So this is the entire layout. The only 2 things I'm focusing on are the ones that go underneath the fender, so these 2 right here, and then the passenger side airbag. Now this is a brand new piece that I got like about 2 years ago. And if we look at this closely, there are some imperfections. There was a slight little incident with the Dremel and this piece as I was having my nephew help me out. So I actually don't know how to repair leather, but I was doing some research and I got this. I might be able to get that texture back in there. Now I did order a part that I was missing for this, and it's this small little plate where this connector clips onto and it keeps it in one place rather than like flying around. And this is what it's called. It's called the glove compartment door finish plate. Now Toyota doesn't sell these anymore, but I did find a couple on eBay and I ordered one for that. Now for anyone watching this YouTube, I'm looking for this part, which is heater to register duct number 4. I thought I had it and I don't have it. So I'm not going to install the glove box just yet, and I am looking to find this, but I can't find it on eBay Motors, and I'm checking with a couple other sites. So hopefully we'll see, but if you guys know of any place that might sell this, let me know. And I brought out the rest of the items that I should probably inspect just to make sure that they look good, like the spiral cable, the center airbag, and the OEM steering wheel. Now, I'm not going to be running the OEM steering wheel. I am going to post that up for sale. I have another steering wheel that I'm going to install, but we'll get around to that later. Now, as far as checking the components, I'm just doing a visual inspection. I am not going to add any voltage to see if they work because they can deploy. So that can happen. And it's interesting because in the manual book, it actually shows you a step-by-step process on how to diagnose these parts. And it's a little extreme. So I'm not even going to go there. So I'm just going to leave them as is. If they work, they work. And if not, well, oh well. Now, even with the other steering wheel, it's still a Supra steering wheel. It's just not the same style as this one. So I can most definitely still use the OEM spiral cable. So this package does come with everything I would need to repair this. So let's open this up and let's check what's inside. The kit comes with, we do have 2 jars of adhesive. We have a couple of different colors. We do have an empty jar just to mix in the exact same shade to match the leather. Instructions, a mixing spatula, a little pack of different kinds of grains to also once again match the grain pattern on the leather, and then this heat transfer tool which makes that possible. Was one that stood out the most that literally matched it, because see, this is way too fine, so that won't work. Yeah, this looks more like wrinkled skin, so that's not gonna work. There we go. So now this one does resemble more of an alligator pattern, but I noticed that it is the only one that matches. As I was analyzing the rest of the leather on here, it still has the grain on it. It still has that pattern, but it is faded. So we can definitely see that a lot of this shiny black coat on the surface of it was scraped off. Just using the black. The blackest black, the only black that is in the kit, to just go over the faded part. I gotta be really honest with you guys. Patching up that leather did not work as well as I thought. I left it outside and I had class last night. So when I came back out to look at it this morning, I was like, oh, you know, it didn't really look like that. you know, when I had left it set. As I was working through it and kind of just going over the lightly faded parts, like the different parts where, I mean, it still has the pattern, but of course, like the paint's just not there. Like it's not really like that glossy. And of course, that type of leather isn't meant to be glossy. It's just meant to, you know, look slightly shiny. Like it's dull, but it's shiny at the same time, if that makes sense. So I just got out of AutoZone this morning. It's literally like 7:30 and I bought some of this. Yep, just like I mentioned before, this stuff really works. It actually gave it that nice matte black look. Okay, I just sprayed the last coat. I'm gonna let it sit out, dry out, do its thing. I don't even want to touch it, and I don't even want to look at the other panels yet, because then I'm gonna get carried away and then I'm gonna get sidetracked with all the work that's laid out for today, which is primarily focused on getting all of the SRS components back onto the Supra. So I'm gonna take out the wheels first, and then I'm gonna see how am I even gonna mount the front airbags onto the under of the fender well. So I gotta figure that out. I know it shows the placement in the manual book, but I might have to go get some hardware. Okay, so this cable runs from the junction block through that hole, and it does tab into place right here, right there, and then right there. So I just followed that, and the airbag sensor itself goes here. I would have to bolt it there and then nut it through the other side. Now I did clean those up. I'm actually gonna clean up this cable so it looks a little bit better, because yeah, there's a little bit of paint over it. And yeah, I already got my hardware, and then we'll install it through. It's nice and bright. This is as clean as it's gonna get. There's like still a little bit of paint in between these little rings on the spiral cable, but it looks really good. Now it's time to get these under here. Let me get this Okay, can you guys see the stud? Look right there. Yeah, it's super tight down there. Let this down. Oh, I thought it was going in. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, righty tighty. 12. Nice, that looks really good. And now I gotta get this cord back on, and of course it's gonna be tapped into place. There we go. Yes. Good. Alrighty then. It looks great. Cool. Clean. Okay, so right off the bat, clearly we see two different tones, and I'm not liking it. We could still see it. Let me ask the Supra community, see what I'm gonna do in this case, because that doesn't look good. And I'm hungry. I gotta make some food too. Enchiladas with eggs on top. Look at that. Fire. Yeah, it looks so much better. So I tried out something completely different, and the results look really good, way better than what I showed you guys before. So this time I used primer, and then I waited, I let it dry out completely, and I used the same paint, but this time I painted it a little bit different. So I just kind of swatched it slightly, and then, you know, I would go and work on the car, and then I would bring out some other panels and some other pieces that I'm gonna work on for like the next couple vlogs, and then I come back and I again spray it slightly, and then I go and work. So pretty much I kind of kept doing that for over a couple hours. It's been like about 4 hours. So the end results are so nice. I'm surprised. It looks good. It looks so much better than what it did before. Now, is it going to match the same color that's on the dash? I don't know. It looks like it's a little darker, but we're about to find out. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Better than what it did this morning. Wow. Okay, well, the fitment's a little weird. Well, the color doesn't look too bad. I think it's just more so the fitment that looks a little off, I would say. But, oh, and then we can't, this is a little noticeable actually. Well, at least it matches, and that's the good thing. The only thing I can do about the fitment is as soon as it dries out, because yes, I took it out one more time just to kind of like touch it up, and hopefully that helps. What I can do for those corners is bend them in slightly, and maybe it'll just take shape as soon as I put it back into the dashboard, and that's what I'm hoping for. And if it works, it works. If not, I mean, it's fine. You know, I did message Paul. I'm gonna leave his Instagram down below. If you guys are located in Michigan or Chicago and you guys ever need a really good auto body, he has a really good auto body. He actually specializes in MK4 Supras, so whenever I have like, you know, questions relating to like any of the interior, I always ask him. And he did tell me that in this case, what I can also do is just remove the airbag and just get a cover, or even do just like an airbag delete. I was looking online and they sell the panel itself and it's in great condition. But I'm like, you know what, if I don't have to spend the necessary money, then I won't. So in this case, I'm thinking maybe I could just fix it. Now, regarding that little spot that looks uneven in the middle, I have an artistic touch. So I was thinking, if it doesn't work what I'm doing here, which, you know, I think I fixed it, but I don't know yet. So if that doesn't work, then I can just, you know, be a little artistic. I can maybe add a couple of hearts. There's a lot of hearts underneath in the undercarriage of my Supra, all over the subframe. If you guys seen the previous work that I did, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty nice and it's different. You know, I tried, you know, being very, I guess, resourceful with like a leftover paint that I had over time, and it actually worked out very well. So who knows, we'll see what I can do with it. It looks pretty good. It matches. From all the time that I spent trying to correct the unevenness, this is the best it's gonna look, guys. I even bent in the corner slightly just to get the fitment in, and I did notice that for other Supras, this is kind of the same. There's always that little gap right in between the airbag and then the rest of the dash. So I'm not too worried about it. Still looking for that part right there. And I did notice that there's still little imperfections, but like I said, it looks good. And the color does match with the rest of the dash. And I can't wait to get like the rest of the parts in here. I'm debating, but I think I'm gonna go with the original seats. Like I said, original door panels, original panels in here. If I do anything retro, probably I'll add some external gauges and then maybe like an additional LCD screen. And I do have to also repair this, because look at that, it is scratched up. And if I can't, I did find a store on eBay that has this for less than $100, so that's not a bad idea. And I do got to clean this up and retouch up that leather too. And yeah, I'm not gonna go with this setup, I don't think so. I don't know, just NRG seats in a beautiful Supra. I really like the original style and the look, which is also why I didn't want to change this out. And finding the replacement piece is kind of expensive, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think it looks great. I don't know, what do you guys think? but I'm so excited for the next couple steps. So I will conclude this video with this for today. Take care, stay tuned, and catch me at the next vlog. Bye guys.